We said last week we were going to wrap up Hilchos Tefillin, but we didn't. So we'll try again this week.
Yeah. One more chance.
Round through. Yeah. So we'll start. We'll do a little bit of Simon Lamed Zayin, which speaks about who is chayiv in Tefillin and who is not chayiv in Tefillin. So first of all, we have halacha. We had actually spoken in the beginning. We started to share about the importance of wearing tefillin, and really it's a mitzvah every single day. There's a halacha of someone that karkafta de leimanach tefillin, a head that didn't put on tefillin, is considered someone who just doesn't get olam haba. So the question is, a head that doesn't wear tefillin, is that referring to a guy who never put on tefillin once in his lifetime, or a guy who misses tefillin in a day? You have a mitzvah every day. It really means in a lifetime to be mevatel the mitzvah's tefillin. But al kaponim, it's a very important mitzvah. Now, but there are certain times when a person cannot do the mitzvah. If a person cannot keep a guf naki, he cannot keep a clean body. Now, the question is what exactly that means. But it says like this: Mitzvah liyas alav kol hayom. The mitzvah is really to wear tefillin the entire day. The entire day means you wake up in the morning. By Mishiyaka, we said, when you can recognize the difference. We didn't really get into that, there's so much this time, but once the time is Mishiyaka, you can put on your tefillin, and you wear it the whole day, and you take it off before Shkia, before the night. Take off the tefillin. But guf naki, since a person has to have a clean body, he shouldn't let out air when he's wearing tefillin. One, and two, and he shouldn't take his mind off the tefillin. So there are two difficult things for a person to be careful of the entire day. He shouldn't let out gas. And two, that he shouldn't be masiach his das. He shouldn't take his mind off the tefillin. Not everybody can be careful with this. So nagu the minigish you don't wear it the whole day. A person should be careful to wear it during Kriya Shema times and tefillin. Somebody says a person should wear it by mincha also. We don't wear it by mincha necessarily, but you have some Sfardim that wear it by mincha. Especially since many of us daven mincha when it's very close to Shkia, and you don't want to wear the tefillin at night. But in any case, by in the morning for Kriya Shema and for Shachvus we wear tefillin. Now, it's unclear exactly what level of letting out air is a problem while you're wearing tefillin. And if a person's an oinus, he has to let out. He should try to remove his tefillin first, and then you can put it back on. If he doesn't have time to remove his tefillin, he can at least pick up the shalrosh that it's off his head. If he has time to move the shalrosh and pick up the shayat, it's even better. But if he can't do that, then at least the shalrosh should move off. But a person has to be careful to keep a guf naki. Now you have someone that's not well. Let's say someone has a virus. So a person has a virus, and he can't. Every 5 minutes he's running to the washroom. So he is parted from wearing tefillin. It's actually halacha in Simon Pei. It says Mishen yochli shemoneh-esrei. That's the Simon. It says whoever is certain that he can't hold himself back until he finishes Kriya Shema and Tefillah, mutav sheyavaz man Kriya Shema Tefillah v'lo yispalo. Now the place can bring that doesn't mean Kriya Shema. Kriya Shema is a mitzvah say d'oraisa that he can say even if he has a stomachache. He could say Kriya Shema, but shemoneh-esrei he cannot say. If he doesn't feel that he can hold himself in from the beginning of shemoneh-esrei till the end of shemoneh-esrei, he is parted from davening shemoneh-esrei until his stomach clears, it gets a little better, and then If it's still the Zman Tefillah, he could daven shemoneh-esrei. But a person is not allowed to daven shemoneh-esrei if he's certain that he's not going to make it through. If he's not sure, then he's allowed to try. And then if he has to stop, he'll have to stop. He's an honest, but if he has to let out gas, he should wait until he lets it out and continue shemoneh-esrei. But really, but for Tefillin, but for Tefillin, we say that a person should not put on tefillin unless he's certain that he's not going to let out air. So he's more pater from tefillin than from shemoneh-esrei, even though tefillin is a daraisa, because the halacha of tefillin is a person has to have a guf naki, and if therefore if he's under the weather, he's not able to, then he's actually pater from wearing tefillin. And this is true on the other account also. A person has to be shalei siach daitem. He has to make sure he doesn't keep his mind off on the tefillin, he has to keep his mind on the tefillin. So if a person is sick, he's running a fever, and he can't concentrate, and he's not feeling well, he doesn't have the, he's tired, he's not in the position to wear tefillin, then he shouldn't wear tefillin. He's actually pater. It's not halacha.
One who was fine but couldn't sleep during the night. So during the day
he's tired. Tired, he should be able to hold himself to be awake for at least Kriya Shema, at least for something, He should be able to keep himself awake, or take a little nap, and then try again. But,
what I asked you the other day, during what time can you put on tefillin?
The tefillin you can wear the whole day. Davening shemoneh-esrei you can only do during the Zman Tefillah.
So, for example,
which is the first 4 hours of the day. After the first 4 hours of the day, of shemoneh-esrei, then it's not Zman Tefillah anymore. So you can make up, you can daven until chatzos, you can daven until chatzos, but the ikar Zman Tefillah is the first 4 hours.
If you're ill, if you're not feeling well during the morning, but in the afternoon you're feeling a bit better, you can put on tefillin for mincha.
You can put on tefillin for mincha, and perhaps you could daven 2 minchas to make up for the shachos that you missed. If you couldn't daven shachos.
Or you can just put them on, say Shema, take
yes,
it off.
Put on, say Shema, and take it off. That's an interesting shaila here. How long? Let's say a person, the person could hold himself in for 5 minutes or 3 minutes. So he could put on tefillin and take it off. How long does he need to have? What kind of window does he need to have in order to put on the tefillin? So the Pri Megadim says that maybe you could put on tefillin even for a moment. You put on tefillin, you could put on tefillin and take it off. I could hold in for a few minutes. You could put on tefillin, take it off, and then let out. But Mishabur says it could be you shouldn't make a bracha on that because it's before. She says you shouldn't make a bracha because it's before that a person, this is the halacha, that kind of person that cannot hold, that has stomach problems and he can't hold himself back, from letting out air. He's pater from wearing tefillin. So how could he make a bracha? He's pater. Has to be a person that could at least hold himself back. At least stomach is calm for an amount of time that he could daven properly, Kriya Shema, and perhaps at least Kriya Shema.
In the case of that, could you say the Shema without the tefillin?
Yeah, so you should say the Shema to say the Rises. So you should say the Shema without the tefillin. And the shemoneh-esrei he'll have to wait.
So what happens?
That's the halacha.
So what happens if you're an elderly person, you have to wear a diaper?
Oh, so that's a real issue. If you have a person that's elderly who has to wear a diaper, is a real problem because he has to make sure it's clean. It has to be clean. Sometimes a person in the hospital and he's hooked up to what do you call those things?
Or you carry a bag.
Yeah, so that's a little better because the bag is like kisu, it's like it's covered. So it's like it's covered. Some people are makbid that it should daven after it's cleaned out. From Meir Gleim is not such a problem, but from Tzaya, some people are makbid it should be cleaned out. But l'maisim ikar adin, since it's covered and if it doesn't smell, they make it that it shouldn't smell and it's covered. So you could be samech on that, and one could daven actually.
So a colostomy bag,
yeah.
You're saying is as long as it's covered, it's fine.
So that's fine. The problem is if the guf is not lucky, if he didn't wipe himself properly, and he still has a little bit on his guf, the Satmar Rebbe was so makbid on having a guf naki that he would end up davening very late. He would clean himself. He was very makbid that it should be mamish guf naki, so who knows? But that could be a problem. If a person's in a hospital setting, it's not clean properly, it has to be cleaned properly, and then you'll be able to daven. So, due to these factors, we're knowing not to put on tefillin on a cotton. There's a mitzvah, just like there's a mitzvah chinuch on all mitzvahs. And tefillin is no difference. You have to machanach a child to wear tefillin. But the shear, when that starts, is a cotton hayodea lishmar tefillah. It has to be old enough that he knows how to watch his tefillin b'tayra. Shelo yishan, he shouldn't fall asleep in it. Shelo yifiach b'hem, he shouldn't let out air. And he should be able to properly know that he's wearing tefillin, have in mind, shouldn't be saying that. So it's hard enough for us adults, and now we're going to put on a child. So it could be. So many people don't put it. Aren't yoytz in the mitzvah chinuch. In other words, they don't put on tefillin on a child till it's bar mitzvah. Some that they don't wear tefillin until the bar mitzvah. So what really happens is that there's no mitzvah chinuch, because once he's bar mitzvah, the father makes a baruch shepatrani, right? What does baruch shepatrani? It means that he's pater. The mitzvah chinuch ends when the kid's bar mitzvah. You still have to train him, to make sure he doesn't turn out to be a wild kid. But as far as the mitzvahs go, the mitzvah chinuch ends when he's bar mitzvah, and at that point on, he's chayv in his own mitzvahs. So technically, he should buy his own pair of tefillin. If I have a mitzvah chinuch, so I have to buy him a pair of tefillin before he's bar mitzvah, it's okay. He has to have something to wear before he's bar mitzvah.
Let him pay his own tuition.
But once he's bar mitzvah, technically it's his own. Straight halacha, it's his own. Near a poshet, zaktim bi halacha according to the ladasa machaber, that cotton may not be, it can't be machanachim. Me'ez atam lekona avav avurei tefillin kagan shelo hayachal l'shamim b'tayra. He wasn't ready before his bar mitzvah, so he weren't able to be machanachim. Kagavna v'nas v'noi ben yud gimel shan v'yameh chashuv ein alav v'il mitzvah chinuch. The father doesn't have mitzvah chinuch anymore. The issue, the kid's already a man. Flies nowadays, huh? Kid's already a man. He's 13 years old. V'chayim me'atzmai b'chol ha-mitzvahs. If he's a poor man, he doesn't have any money, he never went to work yet. Kol Yisrael chayavim b'zeh. Is that my chayav? God's Klal Yisrael is chayav to help this guy out. He should go collecting by the doors. The whole Klal Yisrael is chayav to help him out, in order that he should be able to do his mitzvahs. So, even though it's true technically in the letter of the law, but like at all mitzvahs chinuch, that if the father decides not paying the tuition of the kid, even after he's 13, we sort of make him do it because the society doesn't have a kid on the street at that age. Today we take care of the kids until they're a bit older. I think they stay under insurance if they're a student until I don't know when. So we have to keep up with that. So the Gemara says it could be I'm not mechuyev to support a child after the age of 8 or 6, 8. Whenever they used to start working in those days. But if someone who doesn't, we put him on we tie him to a pole and we beat him up. We beat the father up. He doesn't take care of his children. Fathers take care of his children. So even though technically he doesn't have to buy him tefillin, but the fathers take care of his child and buy him tefillin. But technically, even when he's younger than 13, if I'm just training him to wear tefillin, so let's say I have 2, 3 kids under 13 that I'm training to wear tefillin. I can buy one pair of tefillin, then they could switch off. Why do they have to, at the same time I have to train him? They could switch off. Then I'll save the tefillin for the next guy. I don't have to give it to him. When he becomes bar mitzvah, he should buy his own pair. So, it's not so practical today, but the bottom line is my mitzvah chinuch stops when he's 13. And after that, it's not chinuch anymore. It's a different mitzvah. It's a mitzvah stuck. I'm taking care of my kid. But the chinuch of mitzvahs is until 13, and after 13, it's not.
What you were saying before, so a shote is pater from Tefilin.
Who?
A shote. Because
Shaita is part of all mitzvahs, yeah. 100%, yeah. So, should put it down here also. Yeah. So, because of this, we want to have a mitzvah schidduch, so different minhagim when to do the mitzvah schidduch. And some people will start a month before, is a very common minhag today. Some people start 3 months before, there's a minhag 2 months before, but there is a minhag to be mechanech the child to wear tefillin that we start a drop earlier, even though we don't really start when he's old enough. We don't, like any other mitzvah, we start when they're 6, 8, 9, whatever. They're old enough to start doing the mitzvahs, we start doing it. But tefillin, we start right before the bar mitzvah. Even those that don't, sometimes they'll start, let's say the kid's bar mitzvah on a Shabbos, so they'll put on tefillin on a Friday, even those that don't have the minhag to start before. So he should at least have worn tefillin before his bar mitzvah. So let's say Chal Moed, Yom Tov, it'll start a little before. But there is a mitzvah chinuch. Well, that's why most of us may have a minhag, or a lot of us have a minhag to start a drop earlier. So you'll start him to wear the tefillin a drop earlier. This already goes into bar mitzvah shilas, but you have questions when the kid becomes actually bar mitzvahed. You can have a kid born a few minutes after Shkia, and the question is, which is his bar mitzvah day? Is his bar mitzvah? I just had my daughter's bas mitzvah. It's not so relevant for a bas mitzvah. She's not wearing tefillin. It's only a question of when her bas mitzvah is. She's born 5 minutes after Shkia. So which day is her birthday? So when it comes to a boy, so it's negeya for him to wear tefillin for sure. So misafik he would wear tefillin the day before, right? He would wear tefillin the day before because misafik perhaps it's still the day before.
With the bracha?
Well, you can make a bracha anyways. Chinuch, you can make a bracha, but he won't be able to mimoitzi anyone, right? He might be. It's a suffix if he's a gadol or a cotton, so he can't be moitzi anyone. Which we'll see anyways. Maybe he can't be moitzi someone. We'll see in a moment. So we have these questions. Someone is even if someone is for sure bar mitzvah, you're not really a gadol until you have shnei simonim. Until you have simonim, you need shonim, years, and simonim. So just because he's 13 doesn't mean he's bar mitzvah. We have a chazaka. He has to have 2 hairs. Okay, so that's a simonim. Now we have a chazaka de Rava. There's a chazaka, someone's 13, and we don't know. We assume that he has 2 hairs. He's bar mitzvah. So the question is that chazaka deraisa or is that a drabanan? So if it's a drabanan, then it won't work to be machayiv him on deraisa. So let's say you want him to daven for the Yamid. Can this child that's 13 daven for the Yamid? Could he be moitzi? Someone who's for sure a gadol, So on Rabbanans were basically makel, things that are Rabbanans. So Tefillah could be his Rabbanan. So he could daven for the Yamid. Let's say Kiddush is deraisa maybe, so could he be moitzi Kiddush? That's a whole shiloh. Could a cotton that's just 13, could he be moitzi everyone in Kiddush if Kiddush is deraisa? So you could say Kiddush is Rabbanan because you said Vaychulu and Shul. You said Vaychulu and Shul, so maybe Kiddush is only Rabbanan now. This is all shiloh. So if Kiddush is Rabbanan, it could be moitzi. So, but there are a lot of things a cotton cannot do. A gadol cannot do, even if he's bar mitzvah. For example, let's say it's Parsha Zachar. Bar mitzvah is Parsha Zachar. Will we let him be moitzi everybody in Parsha Zachar, which could be his deraisa? Sometimes better he shouldn't. He shouldn't be moitzi Parsha Zachar. Some people do it. There's different chances, maybe. But that's a question. It could be even if he's 13, he's not considered a gadol.
So when is a person considered a gadol?
So
it's not at 13, 14, 15. I mean, there must come a point.
When is he considered a gadol? So this is a good question. So the halacha is brought down like this. It's brought down.
He doesn't have the siman.
Yeah. So it's brought down like this. There's a shaila. It's really brought down in Hilchos writing the ksivas tefillin, writing tefillin in Sefer Torah. So there, it's brought down that you should a cotton can't write. A cotton can't write a Sefer Torah, can't write tefillin. So there it's brought down in some poskim that he should be 18. Yeah, tefillin should cost whatever you should cotton. Yeah. So Mishabur brings down a cotton that writes tefillin. Safak lo nuim heavy beis cyrus pasal l'chtav imloshin smali ziknai. His beard fills up. He starts having a lot of hairs on his face. He starts filling up. Even if they're tiny, that's enough to be. That's when we're certain that he's a gadol. So it could be bad. Some poskim say that's only 18. Some poskim say 15 years old. Some say 18 years old.
Was you ever call a case like there's people that do not grow hair?
Yeah.
So they are never considered a gadol.
20, even a source at 20 years old is considered a gadol. Yeah. So even someone that doesn't have simanim. So that's and this is for these things, for writing Sefer Torah, writing tefillin. So you have to be that age in order to be a considered a real gadol. But that's for this thing which is for sure. It's possible. Tefillin will be possible if you write tefillin and you're not old enough. Tefillin will be possible. But the other things, there could be certain things which we do rely on. B'keveg has a whole tshuva. Certain things which we do rely on the chazaka. And we assume that he is considered bar mitzvah. This is a shaila when we do, when we don't. That's the question. But the halacha says in Hilchos Chinuch, which is a drabanan, so I could assume that once he's 13, I'm not chayiv in Chinuch anymore. But Lord, that's relevant for today.
Is there any question, like, let's say there's a kid that has the siman, God forbid he needs some medical treatment and he loses all the hair?
No, that doesn't mean anything.
So
that doesn't mean anything, yeah.
If he had it like when he was 11?
Yeah. No, it's 13, you have to have it when you're 13.
No, but what I mean, let's say a kid that by 11 has siman.
Doesn't mean anything. So 11 doesn't do anything, he has to have it when he's 13.
So if he loses when he's 13 because of medical treatment, he's not a gadol.
So I don't know how you judge that. The medical treatment makes it come out. I don't know. It's not to judge that. Yeah. Oh. Okay, so that's a cut. Now, you could also have a shaila when the kid's bar mitzvah is, right? If you have two adars, we know, right? Whenever you have two adars, you get into all the bar mitzvah shailas. He was born in the first adar, he was born in the second adar. So the general halacha we go is that the first adar is the extra one. So if he's born in the second adar, if he's born in adar aleph, one kid is born in adar aleph and one kid is born in adar beis. So if the one kid is born in the end of adar aleph and one kid is born in the beginning of adar beis, the second kid will be bar mitzvah before the first kid. But you have shilos like this. You have shilos. Let's say the kid was born on the 30th day of Shvat. The kid was born on the 30th day of Shvat. No, sorry, kid's born on Lamed Adar Aleph. The 30th day, the second Adar is always Chasar. The Adar that's next to Nisan is always 29 days, not 30 days. But the first Adar could be 30 days. So let's say he's born on the 30th day of Adar, Aleph. And then, when he's 13, there's no Adar Aleph. So there's no 30th day of Adar. Okay? That day doesn't exist. So the shaila is, when is he bar mitzvah? Is he bar mitzvah after Adar, or is he bar mitzvah after Shvat? So in other words, So you see bar mitzvah on the... And the same shas, by the way, by yortzeit. Someone passes away on the 30th day of Adar, when's the yortzeit? So the Magen Avram says the yortzeit is Aleph to Rosh Chodesh Adar. So it's Lamed Shvat. In other words, he was born or died by yortzeit on Lamed Shvat, on Lamed Adar, first Adar. Magen Avram says his yortzeit is actually on the Lamed of Shvat, before Adar. That's his yortzeit. And the Mishabur brings it down. Down, but they don't bring it for bar mitzvah. So for yortzeit, it's a different. The alumnus on the yortzeit is the day he died. By bar mitzvah, it's not the day you were born. It's not like a birthday. It's you passed by 13 years.
Isn't
he has to pass by 13 years to become a gadol. It doesn't have to be the day he was born. It's a different lumdus.
What if he's buried another day later? Isn't it?
That's a yortzeit shayla. We're going to talk about that. But whatever you convey to yortzeit, the yortzeit comes out on the 30th day of Adar Aleph. So Magen Avram says we'll give him the yortzeit on the 30th day of Shvat. So the shayla is if bar mitzvah is the same. So the Aruch HaNer in the Tshuvas Binyan Siyan says yes, bar mitzvah is the same din, and he'll actually bar mitzvah on Lamed Shvat. And a lot of people who do that. There's some that hold not like that. That he never went by 13 years. He's not bar mitzvah yet, and he first becomes bar mitzvah on Aleph Nisan. So what do you do?
What is the definition of a bar mitzvah when you're called?
When you pass 13 years, you're bar mitzvah. You don't have to do anything. You can be sleeping.
You don't have to go get an aliyah.
You don't have to get an aliyah. You're 13, so you could be sleeping.
No, I'm just wanted to clarify that. So.
Yeah, people come and say, I'm 50 years old. I never had a bar mitzvah. Of course, you had a bar mitzvah. You just never kept the mitzvahs. Yeah, I have a bar mitzvah, right? You're bar mitzvah when you're 13.
Okay.
You have a responsibility to keep the mitzvah. So, what does this guy do in the end of the day? So, obviously, since many poskim hold his bar mitzvahs when he's by Lamed Shvat, so then he should start putting on tefillin and keeping all the mitzvahs. But he can't. He shouldn't be moitzi a gadol, until Nisan, because the case. This person should be machmer the other way also. He should wait till Nisan. Now you have the shiloh the other way around. Let's say the guy was born, okay? Let's say the guy was born on Lamed Shvat, in a regular year. It was a regular one Adar, and he was born on Lamed Shvat. And then the Bar Mitzvah year, there's 2 Adars, okay? So the Marash HaLevi says that since the Adar Rishon, he wants to learn the Adar Rishon is the real Adar. So if the guy was born Lamed Shvat, it goes like this. Let's back up. When we said the guy was born on Lamed of Adar Rishon, for a minute, the guy was born on Lamed Adar Rishon, we made his Bar Mitzvah Lamed Shvat. How did we do that? So there's a little lumdus here, because the first day of Rosh Chodesh, how do you go back to Shvat? He was born in Adar. So the answer is because Lamed Adar Aleph is Aleph to Rosh Chodesh Adar Beis. It's 2 days of Rosh Chodesh. So we consider it, in halacha, the last day of the month, in a mole of the Lamed of the month, in halacha we also consider the first day of the next month. Matter of fact, in the Shtaris they used to write Aleph, and sometimes we write in the Ksuva, right? Aleph to Adar, Aleph Rosh Chodesh. Because the day is not only Lamed of the last month, it's the first day of Rosh Chodesh of the next month. And halacha has the din of the first day of the next month. So, since if the guy was born on Lamed Adar Aleph, he was really born Aleph to Rosh Chodesh Adar Beis, the first day of Rosh Chodesh of Adar Beis, and Adar Beis is the real Adar. So when you have a regular year now, in the 13th, when there's Bar Mitzvah, the regular year, the Aleph Rosh Chodesh Adar is Lamed Shvat. So that's why we moved him back to Lamed Shvat. Because he wasn't born on Lamed Shvat, he's born on Lamed Adar. But Lamed Adar Aleph is the first day of Rosh Chodesh of Adar Beis. So since it's the first day of Rosh Chodesh Adar Beis, so when there's only one Adar, we put him to the first day of Rosh Chodesh of Adar, which is Lamed Shvat. That's how we ended up over there. So now you can do the other way around also. Let's say the guy was born on Lamed Shvat, which is Aleph to Rosh Chodesh Adar. So perhaps we should bump him to Aleph to Rosh Chodesh. Right, so we should move him to Aleph to Rosh Chodesh Adar Sheni. So that you don't do. That much you don't do.
Why can't we just keep it the last day of Shabbat?
Yeah, so because it's machlokes. So some hold some hold that you push it off. You know you count it as Aleph Rosh Chodesh Adar and you push it off. That we won't do. That we won't do, and we'll keep him in a Lamed Aleph, a Lamed of Rosh Chodesh Shvat. But some will be machmer again that he shouldn't be Moitzi Gedolim Yidei Chayvasan, at least on a Daraisa.
Both others have 2 days Rosh Chodesh. Both Adar Aleph and Aleph they have 2 days.
Adar Aleph, if Shvat is Lamed, yeah, they'll have 2 days, and they both have, yeah.
Shabbat is.
Yeah. It's Molly, yeah. In any case, this when you have the Shaila said the guy was born again in Lamed Adar Aleph, and it's definitely, even though he's a suffix when his bar mitzvah is, but anyways the guy puts it on tefillin a month before, so tefillin he'll be wearing. He put on tefillin a month before anyways, he'll for sure be wearing tefillin. Anytime a guy is born in Adar Rishon, we say his bar mitzvah is in Adar Sheni, right? If a guy's born in Adar Rishon, if a guy's born in a regular year, and we say his bar mitzvah is Adar Sheni, because that's the real month. There are some shittas that hold the real month is the Adar Rishon. So there, it's kedai to have the minhag anyways to put on tefillin a month before, just to be out of those shittas that perhaps his bar mitzvah the month before.
When you're saying kaddish for somebody that on a leap year, you'd only count 11 months again.
No, 11 months it starts from when he passed away.
Yeah, but I'm saying even with you have the 2 Adars.
Yeah, you just go 11 months and you start. Okay. Fine. So that's a cut. Now, Noshim, women, v'avadim. We don't have avadim today, but avadim will chayv Mrs. Kanashim. So P'turim in mitzvah nation mitzvah say they're part of wearing tefillin. It's a mitzvah say they're part of wearing tefillin like any other mitzvah say they're part of from. So Shazman Grama. Now many mitzvahs say women do, even though they're part of from. They do a lot of mitzvahs that they're part from. They come here shayfer. They're part of from hearing shayfer. It's a mitzvah say Shazman Grama. Lulav. They're not chayv to shake lulav, but they shake it anyways. They want to do a mitzvah. For the Sfardim, they can't make a bracha. Sfardim can't make a bracha on a mitzvah that they want to do because they're not chayiv in it. They can't say Asher Kishalom Mitzvah Tzivanu. But Ashkenazim, we could make a bracha. If they do the mitzvah, they can make a bracha on it. But the Ramah says like this: If they want to be machmer on themselves, we stop them. And now, tefillin we don't allow them to do. And the reason is because, for the same reason, because it's difficult enough for us to wear tefillin. So you have to have gufnaki, you have to have machshah, you have to have keep your mind on the tefillin. And noshim means rizos lizar. We're not going to, us, we're chayiv in tefillin, we have to daven, and we're chayiv in mitzvah, so we put it on. But the noshim, we don't allow them to wear. Now, there were certain women that actually did wear tefillin. The Torah says, Michal, right, Bashal, was the wife of David HaMelech, wore tefillin. So, Michal wore tefillin. So So and there's all Gemara about it. If she was allowed to wear tefillin, if she wasn't allowed to, there's all Gemara about it. She wore tefillin. And I think the Tyson Springs over there, I didn't have a chance to check, but the daughters of Rashi wore tefillin. Daughters of Rashi wore tefillin. But so they discuss it. The place can discuss it. The Ramah Paskins Moichem B'Yadim. We don't allow them to. So the teretz is that they taka knew themselves, and they were they felt they were holding by wearing tefillin. The Targum Yonasan Ben Uziel, that says Lo Yilbash, a man shouldn't wear a woman's clothing. The pasuk in the Torah, a woman shouldn't wear a man's clothing. So it says there, a woman shouldn't wear tzitzis and tefillin. That's what it says. Lo Yilbash, it says she shouldn't wear tzitzis and tefillin. It's the Targum Yonasan Ben Uziel. Now, Pi Kabbalah, they're very machmir. It's a woman should not wear tefillin. So, in any case, halacha, Ramah, and Kabbalah get together on this one. So we don't allow women to wear tefillin. Moshe has a tshuva actually. Moshe has a tshuva that the Women's Libs organization that they want to do these things. So he says he could understand if they were machmer on all the mitzvahs that they're chayavin. They're doing all the mitzvahs and now they want to do an extra credit. Okay, he understands where they're coming from. But if they're not keeping the rest of them, why are they focusing on the tefillin and the talus? There's plenty of mitzvahs for them to keep that aren't being done until then. So it shows it's not coming from the right place. If it's coming from the right place, they would first do the mitzvahs that are easier to do, that they're required to do. So that's the Kavachai brings down that Michal Bashal wore tefillin because she was a gilgal of a zachar. She was a gilgal of a zachar, so she wore tefillin. And he says there that the woman that's a gilgal of a zachar, is brought down, won't have children unless it's nisaber to her gilgal also of a neshama of a woman then she can have children. We don't know what gilgulim are, we don't know what iburim are, but all these things that happen inside a person's neshama, so that's why he says that she was able to wear tefillin because she was really a gilgal zachar. Go figure that one out. So, yeah.
Our pay grade.
What?
It's above our pay grade. If they say it's above our pay grade.
It's our pay grade, yeah. But the halacha is that hamaniach tefillin tzarich lizar mehiru taivas isha. A person that's wearing tefillin has to be careful from taivas. But the person's wearing tefillin, he has to be very careful to clear his mind from women, right? There's a practical reason. I mean, it's not just a halacha. This is a practical reason why there's a lady section. Okay. So a person has to be able to be merachas, daven properly. So the person that, and as well, that says Shulchan Aruch. We're not talking. This halacha wasn't written in the 21st century. This is written way back then. There's a problem always existed that says the Ramah says if a person can't control his mind around Hurim, he shouldn't put on the tefillin. Again, he shouldn't put on the tefillin if he can't control his mind. If he finds his mind wandering, he has to be very strong that he should force himself to go back to put his mind on the davening, on learning, on something else. If not, he should take it off. Take off his tefillin. That's the halacha.
It's got to be a work in progress. I think, unfortunately, to myself, the problem is you're
it's hard to keep your mind on anything today. During davening, your mind is all over. It says a person's mind is a kol olam kuloi. Pasuk says in Kollel that Hashem put in a person's mind levilti, that he shouldn't find Yuris like him. His mind is all over the place. When you come to daven, you could be in China, you could be anywhere.
So 200 years from now, we're going to need a separate section for those who can't decide what they are. To be politically correct.
200 years?
Today, it's crazy already.
We're there.
And do they put on tefillin? Do they not?
You can't change. You can't change yourself. Once you're born, you can't change.
Once it's in the women's side.
You are what you were. Oh. Yeah. So that's so there's just another few halachas over here. Something else I wanted to speak about, I forget right offhand. Because of this reason, a person has to mirachas his das. So an avel b'yom rishon b'yom hamisa. It's also a pasuk. It's a pasuk in Cheskel that. So you have to take a tefillin off. So avel, the day of misa and the day of kvura, doesn't wear tefillin. If the kvura is the next day, so the Mishnah Paskins the yom kvura also he doesn't wear tefillin. There are others that are held that he does wear. He should put it on betzin in his home. Many people are noig like that. That if the kvura is on the next day, right? Let's say the person passed away on a Sunday, so he wore tefillin ready in the morning, lest he's Sunday. Or if he didn't, he's potter from wearing tefillin Sunday. Monday, the burial's on Monday. Then, so if he could put on tefillin after the burial. So if it's yom kvura, so after the burial, he should put it on betzina. He should put it on privately in his home. He should put it on. But he's parted because he's tired. He's busy with his availus. He's not.
I was told I was exempt.
Yeah. The first day is exempt.
And the second,
the day of the kvura.
I was exempt as well.
Many people put it on betzina in their homes. Yeah. Now, we're all careful not to drop the tefillin, right? Take care of the tefillin properly, not to drop it. And we all know the halacha is a person drops the tefillin, he has to fast. Now, that's true if he drops the tefillin when it's not in the case. And even then, today, it says a person could fast, he should fast, taka. A person can't fast, he should pay for the meal. He's paid himself with tzedakah, so the amount he spends on the food for the day, that's how much you pay. You pay to tzedakah, and you pay to yourself. It's proper that a person should at least fast a half a day. Today we're weaker; we can't fast all day, but a person should fast because a half a day, and then that's if it falls in. The tefillin fall on the floor when they're out of there, when they're not in the.
I never heard that.
Not
before.
in the boxes. If they are in the boxes, the Mishnah says you should give a pruta to tzedakah. Give a pruta to tzedakah. Mikra din is potter because it's already in the boxes, but a person could give a pruta for tzedakah, and that's.
It doesn't work for Tisha B'Av, does it? You can pay instead of fasting. Yeah.
Oh no. Yeah.
Good try.
Yeah. If a person finds, unfortunately this happens, a person finds his tefillin apostle, you're not mechuyev to check your tefillin. Mezuzahs you have to check. It's 27 years, but because it's out on the door, because something could happen to it, the sun, the rain, could get ruined. But tefillin are sold in the boxes, and nothing's going to happen to the parashas. Nothing's going to happen to it. The stair, nothing's going to happen to it. If you leave it out in the extreme cold, if you leave it out in the rain, the wetness, if it's in an area where there's a chashash, something happens to it, then you have a chiyuv to check it. But otherwise, you have no chiyuv to check your tefillin. Once you checked it once, and they're put in the boxes, you're not chiyuv to check it. Providing that you're wearing it every day. If you have a pair of tefillin that hasn't been worn for a while, that a person should check before he wears them. Even if the minhag is, even if you get something b'Yerusha, a pair of tefillin which was worn last week, 2 weeks ago, but still, a person should check it before he wears it the first time. But especially if it hasn't been worn for a while, it's partially he has to check it. But something which you wear every day, and there's no chashash anything happened to it, you have no chiyuv to check it. The only problem is like this. You have a guy that was wearing tefillin for 50 years. It happened here, a guy was wearing tefillin for I don't know how many years, 50 years, and he checked his tefillin and it was missing a letter. It was missing a letter, so it came out the whole 50 years he wasn't wearing a pair of tefillin. It's a terrible thing. So Mikra din, it's not his problem. As long as he went and bought a kosher pair of tefillin, checked it, he did due diligence, and he put it on, and mistakes happen. So he's an oinus, and he's as if he did the mitzvah every day. If others, the guy's Yerushalayim, he should be mekabel on himself, certain zehirus and mitzvahs tefillin, to wear it a little bit longer, to upgrade. A person should be mekabel on himself, a zehirus in the mitzvah, because he wasn't zeicha to do it properly, and wear it. It's a terrible thing, but he should to have he should put something into the mitzvah to sort of make up for his loss of the mitzvah. But technically, he's not achroi. The sofer is mechuyev to fast. The sofer who put together his tefillin, his achroi for his tefillin, was his mistake. It was his mistake. So that's why it's not a good business to be a sofer. Say it straight out. It's not a very good business to be in, because it's impossible to be 100% certain every single time. But if a guy is a sofer, he should be careful. Most soferim are not magiyim. They are magiyim, but they'll give it to someone else to check. You don't want to trust yourself. You give it to someone else to check it. That's supposed to check it. Two people check it. Today with computer checks, a person should have a computer check. You have to, check it as much as you could. But because of this issue, that sometimes it happens that the guy's film does become puzzle, and he finds out later. So it is recommended to once in a while have the tefillin checked. So it shouldn't be.
That's once in a while.
People do it before they get married. People do it before they do a big simcha, or every once in a while. It's man, you feel it's the time. Maybe you should check it. So people check it. But me'ikar adin, there is no chiyuv to check the tefillin once they're put into the thing. And some tefillin you can't even check, because the more once the tefillins are folded, they're folded up and stuck in, every time you take it and open it up, they could crack. So it's very not a good idea to check the tefillin if it doesn't need to be checked. So, you have to have a balance over there. But there is this concept that, we want to do the mitzvah, we want to make sure we did it right, and you're nervous that maybe, they missed something. So it's not a bad idea to have it checked every once in a while, especially if you're not sure where I got the tefillin, when I got it, how careful you was. It's a good idea to have the tefillin checked. But limited. There's no chiyuv. It's not like mezuzah where there's a chiyuv. Unless something happens to the tefillin, you have to open it up for a different reason. You switch the bottom or something happens, then you go ahead and you go and check it. Okay, I hope we covered the tefillin this time round, and next week we'll start another topic.